Welcome, everybody, to episode 100 of Disney with the Ducks.
Woo!
All right. And I can't believe we've made it this far. The Ducks are now in the Century Club. This is pretty exciting. If we were a Peloton rider, we'd get a little shirt that has Century Club on it, or, you play the game Century Club. I don't know if that's a thing anymore. But, either way, we've made it much longer than I think any of us or any of you listening thought we would. One thing we want to ask you to do so that we can keep this going is if you could pause this real quick, go out, give us a 5-star review or rating, and give us a really good review. And we'll read that on a future episode, much like the 2 that I'm about to read now. So this month, guys, we got 2 new reviews on Apple Podcasts. So the first one is from CL Malik. I think I know who this is. I think this is a friend of ours, Mr. Malik. He said, John Krull is also my dad. So thank you, Chris, for those encouraging words. If you're looking for child support, I think you're well past the age where I'm going to need to give that to you. So, good luck with any lawsuits you may have pending against me related to the paternity of yourself. But we really appreciate you giving us a review. And then we have one more, and this one is from ShadowFan999-1. ShadowFan says, a great show. The hosts have different areas of interest in the Disneyverse, which allows them to cover so many different topics. Their passion beyond Mickey, Marvel, Star Wars shows through and will engage you weekly. So ShadowFan, thank you so much for taking the time to go out and give us a 5-star rating and a wonderful review. So that's awesome. So if any of you guys go out and give us a review, we'll read it on one of the upcoming shows. And it also just helps people find us, helps bring people to the Disney with the Ducks community. And then also, after you give us a review, go and join our Facebook page, Disney with the Ducks. And we can get some fun discussions going over there.
Is anybody else a ShadowFan fan now?
I'm a big fan of ShadowFan.
Me too.
Oh, yeah,
ShadowFan
sure.
fan.
They're the best.
Yeah. I also... You know what's weird, though? So I'm a fan of ShadowFan, but I'm not a fan of Shadows. They creep me out.
Especially Peter Pan.
Yeah. How it's just separate from him? No, I'm out. I'm out. All right. So like we do every week, we're going to ask a question so we can get to know each other a little bit better, and our listeners can get to know kind of some of the craziness that goes on inside our own heads. So tonight's question, you have your own late night talk show. Who do you invite as your first guest? Gene, I feel like you're going to have a good answer for this, so let's go with you.
Oh, it's difficult. I mean, if I want to be serious, I would say George W. Bush, because I think he's fascinating. He's done, a bunch of, apart from his political career, a lot of relief work. And so I think he'd be interesting. I think he's done a lot of good things for veterans. He started painting later in life. I think he's a very interesting person. But I mean, if I just want to have fun, I'm asking Ryan Reynolds to come on. I'm just going to cut up.
That is a very solid choice with Ryan Reynolds. I think he's one of the funniest people ever. Have you guys, we talked about it before, but Welcome to Wrexham. If you haven't watched it, it's
good.
It's amazing. With him and Rob McElhenney, how they bought that Welsh football club. Oh, it's amazing.
You mean soccer?
Yeah. For the
football.
For the Americans here, I guess. Yeah, you would call it soccer.
Have you ever watched 30 Rock? I watched it on a plane today, and one of the ideas that a new owner tells them, they're asking him to pitch ideas, and one of the ideas was a black strip at the bottom to cut out anything inappropriate, so kids wouldn't have to see it, like nudity, profanity, soccer.
Uh-oh, you're gonna anger Jody.
I like soccer. I'm just joking. I just thought it was funny.
It's the beautiful sport. Kevin, what about you? Who are you inviting on?
So you didn't say if they had to be alive or dead. So I'll pick one that's not alive, and then one that is. So if I had to pick somebody to be on the show, I would pick Albert Einstein. Because I would just love to, kind of just ask him questions and kind of see his background. But a more fun one would be Ewan McGregor. I think he would be awesome.
I think Einstein would be like a little worried about what television was. I mean, like, what's your setup process of that to explain to him what you're actually doing and what's a show? And I mean,
yeah, I think he would get it pretty fast. He would catch on.
I don't know. I mean, Kevin's got, bringing out a summoning or something, a Ouija board to try to get him up here. I think people will tune in just to see that.
Right.
To see the
man.
Yeah. You can have like a revolving door of guests, Kevin, not knowing which one summons through. We thought it was going to be Einstein, but that's not who came through the door.
No.
What if it's like a demon that disguises Albert Einstein?
And I would pay to watch a late night show like that. That would be awesome.
So you pay to see a demon?
This is the next Disney Plus show. We need to put this back in one of our earlier episodes, and of course I don't have the episode number, Lonnie, but one of the ones where we were trying to present ideas to Mr. Iger to be incorporated into the parks and the company.
You could have Albert Einstein on the show and get some of his his cousins, maybe brothers and sisters, maybe some of your cousins and brothers and sisters have like a big battle royale, and just call it it's all relative.
There you go.
Oh, I like where this is going. Jeff, do you get it? Because
do you get it? Relative. Y'all get it? Do you know how long it took me to come up with that joke? I was racking my brain.
Jeff, so we have to explain it to Jeff after. Somebody get Neil deGrasse Tyson on their show so we can. Okay. Yeah, he's pretty awesome. Lonnie, who are you inviting?
I'm probably gonna invite somebody like Denzel Washington. I think that's who I would invite. I think he'd be a great person to talk to. I love some of his leadership principles that he's really been starting to be vocal with. So yeah, I'll go with Denzel.
Awesome.
That's a good choice.
A lot of great movies you can talk about too.
Yeah.
All right, Jody, who are you going with?
I think I'm going to go with Michelle Obama. I need a lady, and I love every show or book or anything I've heard with her. I love her podcast. So I just find her incredibly interesting. She's got really humble background and a really neat story. And she's a lot of fun. If you've ever seen her in carpool karaoke, she's hilarious on that. So I think that's who I'm going to invite, Michelle.
We could do a crossover episode too, because she and George W. Bush are friends.
They are. They were very respectful with one another, which I very much appreciate.
Do you want to have her on before or after they make her the nominee for president?
Wouldn't that be fun? Let's do it together. Let's have the Gene and Jody show, the Chat show.
But do you want to have her on before or after they give her the nomination for president at the DNC? Because that's what the rumor is. I'm just saying that's what the conspiracy theorists say.
The Ducks don't endorse or talk about politics on any show.
I'm not endorsing anything. I'm just.
I'm just talking about politics. Eugene, own it. Own what you say.
Come on, we all guys. It doesn't matter. We all know Taylor Swift is going to be the next president.
That's true. This is also true.
The demographic of people
after she gets proposed to at the Super Bowl, right?
She's apparently.
If that happens, we know that the NFL is fixed. I'll be the first to say it.
Yep.
That's how you'll know for sure.
That's the only way the Lions blew that lead last
year. You know what? I really believe that's the case, Carl.
They numbed up all our receivers' hands so we couldn't catch anymore.
Yeah.
Or they, when they were walking out of the the fitting rooms, the dressing rooms, going back to the field, they just whispered in their ear, "Hail Hydra."
Exactly.
Which was the sign for you better not catch a single thing.
Right. Yep. Oh man. Jody, it's funny you mentioned Michelle Obama because that's who I was gonna go with too. So now I gotta think of somebody else because her books are amazing too. I love them. Yeah. But all right. Jeff, what about you? Who are you inviting?
Anytime I watch late night shows, I always like the comedians that are on there. They tend to interest me the most. So I would go probably with Bert Kreischer as my first guest on there. I love his podcast, Two Bears in a Cave, with him and Tom Segura. He just can kind of carry a room and a conversation real easy. He talks about the machine. It's definitely a good story. I think he would be a great first person to have to kind of break the ice and get my guests laughing.
Nice. All right. I think that's a good one. I think he would be hilarious.
I think he'd be somebody just to hang out with. It'd be a blast.
Yeah, man. All right. So I'm gonna have a panel of people on my show. It'll be like a Bill Maher
style.
Oh,
look, this is how John cheats.
Imagine,
you know. So Jody already had Michelle on. So I'll have the other half of the Obamas. I'll have Barack. He'll be on my panel. We'll have Dax Shepard, you know, from Armchair Expert, him and Monica Padman, because you know, that's my favorite podcast. I love listening to those two talk. So they're going to be on there.
Second favorite podcast.
Oh yeah, my second favorite, obviously. Come on.
Yeah.
What do we chop liver?
Right. No, we all know New Heights is my favorite. But no, so I would have those three on, but then I'd also want Neil deGrasse Tyson on because he's one of my favorite humans and I just love listening to him talk. I love his books, everything. So yeah, I think, and I would want to talk to like Barack about like super secret stuff and like what it's actually like to be president. And Dax and Monica, I think, could really help me steer the conversation because they're great interviewers. And then, yeah, you know, Neil deGrasse Tyson just there to explain anything science related or talk about the world and the purpose of life. So yeah, I found a way to cheat. I'm really excited about that.
I'm a little disappointed that none of you guys said you wanted me as your first guest. That's the first thing. So let's just say, you know, I'm a little, you know, I'm not upset. I'm just a little disappointed.
Sorry, Lonnie. You definitely would be the first week for sure.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Good.
Vegas can be choosers.
Right, exactly. All right, so now let's get into our topic for the night. This is our 100th episode. That means we have 99 other episodes out there that hopefully everyone's going back and listening to and enjoying. But tonight we're going to talk about, you know, which ones were our favorites. You know, we'll tell you guys some of the ones we really liked, and maybe you'll hear some fun stories about kind of behind the scenes stuff. And yeah, we'll go through that, and we'll just kind of talk about what the podcast has meant to us too. So does anybody have a first episode or a favorite episode that they really want to share first?
Well, they better, because that was the whole premise of the show that we talked about beforehand. So I'm hoping we all do.
Yeah.
I hope we all do.
All right. So Kevin, what do you got, man? What's one of your favorites?
Probably my favorite content-wise was episode 14. It was Disney Dream Jobs. It's when we got to talk about some of the fun things that we would want to do if we got to work for Disney. That's kind of something that I've always wanted to do. I think, you know, highly consider that when I retire to look for something there. But yeah, that was a really fun episode. But I'll add one. So there's one episode that never got released because of me. It was a very good episode that nobody else will know except I think me, Gene, and Lonnie and Kroll. But it was a very good episode, and that's one that never got released. So,
oh man, I don't even remember what the topic was, but I remember my cheeks hurt after that because I was laughing so much. It was about basically nothing, but we talked for like an hour, and I forgot to hit the record button, so that one was lost into the ether. So, you know, oh man, yeah, but you know what? We experienced it, so. That's special to us because we're the only ones in the world to ever experience that.
So one of the other things too. So speaking of that and just not knowing what I'm doing, things like that, I think that around that time of that episode, episode 14, Disney Dream Jobs, that's when I feel like it might not have been exactly then. It was around that time when I finally started becoming comfortable being part of the podcast where, you know, it was very difficult for me to be able to get up and talk like this and do this kind of thing. So I think if nobody else gets anything else out of this, you know, it's always hard to do some things like this, but I'm so happy that I did, and, you know, gotten to know all of you guys better. And that's kind of when I feel like I finally got over my nerves. And, you know, the first few episodes I really struggled with, but that's about when it started kind of kicking in. So
yeah, it's fun to go back and listen to the first couple episodes and just see how like there was awkwardness and stuff there. And then as we listen through them, everybody starts like understanding each other a little better, and it just gets better and better. I think it's so fun though.
John, I'm not sure the word fun is how I describe about going back and listening to some of those first episodes.
It's painful.
They're amazing.
It's pretty painful.
She might be bad. Well, now though we're like upper echelon Disney podcasts, right? So yeah. All right. So
Kevin, that's funny that you had episode 14. That was one of my favorite ones too. I just like the creativity that everybody came up with and some original ideas. And I mean, some things that existed like plaids and things like that, but some other things too. So that was one of my favorite ones. And I agree. I think we were kind of gelling by that point in time. So I was right there with you, episode 14.
Gene, you were having a fantastic conversation without us because you were muted, sir.
I think Gene just said, I'm not muted, am I?
Maybe Gene can keep talking and we just subtitle him.
I mean, it took
I didn't do that. I don't know what happened. Did you mute me, Jeff? It would seem like Lonnie probably did it.
I did not. Sir.
It seems like I don't remember that episode. I don't remember all the details. But it seems like John. The best part about that show was John didn't care what the job was as long as he could wear spats. Wasn't that correct?
Spats are the best.
They are, aren't they?
Nobody would know that they're called spats if it wasn't for this podcast.
That's
so,
right.
Gene,
the more
you've made a big contribution to the world.
Fountain of useless knowledge is often what I've been called.
Oh boy. All right. Well, thanks, Kevin. Gene, what is your favorite? One of your favorite episodes?
So I have a list of favorite. I mean, it's going to come down to some honorable mentions because I really enjoyed them. One of my favorites, I'll tell you, y'all can maybe help me, but I couldn't find it. And I remember it distinctly, but it was.
Wait a minute. Was it the one that Kevin forgot to hit record? Was that your favorite one?
That's why I asked him what it was about. But no, it was an episode. So I can't find it, but I remember it. I've listened to it several times since. It's where we reimagine things. And in particular, I proposed the idea of taking one musical and making it into one called I Can Do This All Day, the Steve Rogers story. And right after that, Hawkeye came out and they had Rogers the musical. And I don't know if maybe Disney took that episode down to protect themselves. That's the only thing I can figure. There was also Hello There, the Obi-Wan Kenobi musical was also an idea. I just remember those are great ideas, but that's not why that was one of my favorite ones. I just remember laughing all through that show. And my favorite shows are always the ones where we just keep laughing and it's just funny all the way through, Another one that's really was a lot of fun. And I hate to give Lonnie any kind of credit because, he wants to take credit for everything anyway. But episode 90, when Lonnie quizzed the ducks, hilarious. I mean, it was just stuff we weren't expecting, and he prepared it without telling anybody what to expect, and it was all off the cuff, and it was really funny. Good job, Lonnie.
It was.
That was a good one.
Gene, I wonder if you were talking about episode 6, because I was thinking
so I have that written, and I actually listened to a bunch of that episode, and I don't know if that's the one though.
I think it was after that, John. It was the one, the Armchair Imagineering ones after that.
Okay. Yeah. Because that one was one of our first retheming type of
That one made my list too, but that was the one that had some technical glitches and some of the audio just never came through quite right. So that was one of our learning experiences of how the show works.
Yeah. No, that was a fun one. All right. Lonnie, what's one of your favorite episodes?
Well, I'm gonna go with my favorites is episode 17, Gene's Trip Report. So much great information came out of that one. That's when we found out about the South America boot.
Right.
And that's when we found out about Gene's first time seeing the Guardians ride. He never saw it before, even though he ran by during weekend. What else we found out? We found out that Gene called it the butterfly and the International Butterfly and Food Festival. I mean, there's a lot of great things that came out of that one. So it's funny because me and Gene have like an inside joke in regards to trip reports because he always says, "Man, I can't do anything about that." But his was one of my favorites, right? So I have to go with episode 17, Gene's Trip Report. If you guys haven't listened to it, go back and listen to it. But just know you're gonna laugh a lot.
Just be gentle. I mean, I don't know about. I'm just not the right kind of nerd. You know what I mean? I just am. I'm not.
I think one of the things Gene said, man, you can't fault me for that. And I think at one point John said, yes, we can. So that's one of my favorite ones. I still to that one now and then. And it's funny, I had episode 90 as well with the quizzes, right? When Lonnie quizzed the Ducks. And I just had a blast on that one. And Kevin's The Secret episode was by far probably my favorite. I wish anybody could listen to it. Unfortunately, you can't, but that is by far, I think that was Emmy nominated at one point. I mean, it is the podcast of podcasts. I think that's the one that's going to put us on the map.
We would be covered with sponsors right now. We'd be, fighting them off with the stick.
If that one would have put out, we've been invited to PodCon.
We probably would have. I mean, that was the episode.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest with you. I only wish, but you know what? It was magical. You can't recreate the magic. It just happened that, that Kevin just took the ingredients and put them together, and this magic happened. But he didn't measure the ingredients, so we can't go back and put them in there again.
Right.
So it's just
it's like the super soldier serum.
Exactly. There's one, and it was that episode, and that's it now.
Man. All right, we've got some pretty good episodes we've talked about. Jody, you mentioned earlier episode 14 was one of your favorites, but we've already talked about that one. So why don't you give us another one?
Yeah, I've got a couple of favorites. Speaking of Gene and the Butterfly Festival, anytime that comes on, it makes me laugh. And so I like episode 59, where we all had $50 and we were supposed to go around and eat at the said Butterfly Festival, and what we would eat, because it was funny to hear people's choices and what they were going to spend their money on. And it's always entertaining to do a pretend walk around Epcot with Gene. So that was one of my favorites.
God, y'all are so mean.
And Gene can't add because apparently, he has like $85 in things. He's supposed to have $50. So we also learned something very, at our core, we learned that, Gene has funny math.
Well, we also know Disney will more than willingly help you find another way to pay for your food, whether it's, using your phone or a credit card or whatever. Yep. They'll let you extend yourself past your $50.
Or borrow a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
But, yeah. So that was one of my favorites. I also liked the one that we talked about, the surprise trips, which was episode 45.
Yeah,
because we had a lot of feedback from listeners, and I think that's fun to hear other people's ideas and suggestions on things that they did. And then I also really liked when we played Never Have I Ever. We played that with Ricky back at episode 19.
That was on my list.
And those were some of my favorites. So for different reasons. I think I'm with you though, Lonnie. The ones that make me laugh are my favorites.
Yep.
The one with Ricky was really fun too, because I'd never met Ricky before, and just seen her like in the lizard group and things. So that was really fun. That was a good time. All right, Jeff, what are some of your favorites?
Like Jody, I did have episode 19 with Ricky. I like the game episodes. I think that was a fun game. I think we all had a lot of fun and laughter with that one. So in that same vein, I was going to my other game that we tried to do that was an epic dumpster fire, but we did laugh about that one, and that is episode 77 of Where in the World.
I have it right here. I won it. It was the best episode ever.
It was, because Jeff, I'm 99% sure half our listeners wanted to punch you in the face. And 100% sure that all of us that were on that night wanted to.
It's one of those great
punch who, Jeff in the face?
Yeah. Great theory, bad in practice. It did not turn out as well.
Let's do it again. Let's do that episode again.
Those games are fun though, especially when things like that happen.
They are.
The epic dumpster fire of episode 77.
Wait, 77.
Which about halfway through the episode, I think I even said that this is never making it to air, and we're just going to leave it and start over. But that was vetoed. So, and obviously, like I said, the one with Ricky and with episode 19, I really enjoyed that one too.
Yeah. No.
And she was our first guest.
She was.
Yeah,
I forgot how funny that Where in the World one was, but that was really good. Yeah. Oh my God, that was amazing. I don't know. I really like our like kind of armchair Imagineering episodes. Like 51, we did movies that we want to change into rides or create rides off of, and rides to movies. So
would that be the episode that Gene was thinking? Maybe. Because that could be like a movie.
So I have that written down too, but I didn't even hear myself in that one. I just was kind of skipping through to try to. I didn't have a lot of time today to kind of refresh my memory, and I couldn't find that one. I couldn't find anything about that didn't seem like the right one.
Yeah, it's fun talking about different things and different ideas that Disney can take of ours. Just like the musicals that they stole from Gene. So yeah, that's one of my favorites. And then another one in that category, the World Showcase expansion, episode 48. I just love talking about Epcot. So if we can talk about different countries we want to add and the restaurants that we think we can bring in and all that kind of stuff, I love it. So episode 48 was that one for me. And then do you want me to keep going or do we want to go?
You're going to anyway.
Okay. So I also like talking about resorts a lot. And one of my favorite ones was episode 44, where we did the monorail crawl and we stopped at each resort on the monorail and we, had a meal, we got a drink, went to a store, did something fun. So
no one has any idea what drink John got. No clue.
I may have even well, yeah.
Cheated?
I may have cheated, somehow, and probably gotten off it. Here's what I would have done, right? I would have gone to Grand Floridian, hung out there at Enchanted Rose and stuff, then walked over to Polynesian, got a Lapu Lapu, went back to Grand Floridian, get on the monorail, and then keep going around. Because then you get 2 Lapu Lapus on one circle.
Perfect.
Yeah. No, I know. It is. It's a perfect plan. Man. And then we talked about Disney music. So music has been one of my favorite things in my whole life, and Disney is one of my other favorite things. So you put those together, and I loved talking about that and nerding out about Alan Menken and all of the great soundtracks that have accompanied, the Disney films and the parks, because there's a lot of good, unique songs in the parks too. So those are some of my favorites. You know what? Another category I really liked. I like talking about overrated and underrated. So we did a few in that category. 65 was restaurants. So it's fun to see kind of who thinks different restaurants are over or underrated and all that kind of stuff. 71 was resorts, and 68 was attractions. So check out our over underrated series and yeah, because I thought it was fun. I just like having those kind of discussions.
Was one of those, John, the one that me and you just kind of went at it for a while?
It was, yeah. I can't remember which one. Was it restaurants?
It might have been resorts.
Resorts?
I think it was just me and you were the only ones there, and just that could have also probably been a dumpster fire episode too.
Well, luckily I was there, so yeah, kept us on track. But no, so those are I have a bunch of different favorites from all kind of different categories. Are there any other episodes that nobody's brought up yet that somebody wants to mention?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead, Lon.
Gene.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It's one of our because I do have a list here of our most popular YouTube videos, right? So we also post them to YouTube. But episode 72, our Run Disney favorite memories, that one was one of our popular YouTube videos. As well as a great one, I think I had in one of my favorites as well.
Was that Run Disney Memories one? Was that the one where we got asked people on the Facebook group to kind of submit them to us, and we read them and talked about some of those?
Yes.
Okay, those shows are fun.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Lonnie, was that one of the popular episodes because you happened to be traveling that week?
I just wrote that down to ask him after the show.
You just kind of let it play in your room all day so we get the extra views, or
put it on a loop.
Nah. It's for some reason when I leave out the room and I come back, it's paused. It actually says, "Are you still here?" So I don't know. I think they caught on to it. The algorithm is smarter. AI, man, you can't beat it.
It's smarter than us.
Yeah, that's why I always, I'm sitting around here and I would ask Google to do something. I always say, please. And, my wife's like, why do you say please? I was like, well, because when it becomes self-aware, they may let me live.
For sure.
Everybody else who's angry, and just tell it, do this, do that, just know you're in trouble.
No, so okay. Sidebar, my oldest daughter, Kara, lectures me on this daily because I don't tell Alexa, please and thank you. And her reasoning is the same as yours, Lonnie. She's like, when they take over, I want them to like me.
A robot forgets. You know that.
Yeah.
Store it in their hard drive. It's not like in Star Wars where they wipe the droids. It stays in there forever.
Yeah. Exactly. So I'm in trouble.
There's no cloud in Star Wars, I guess.
All I know is I asked that device in our hotel room in California multiple times to please change from Celsius to Fahrenheit, and it never ever did. So my temperature would only tell me the temperature.
It knows what's best for you. It knows that Celsius is more accurate.
Did you say please?
I said please, thank you. I appreciate it. Can you please switch to Fahrenheit? What is the temperature in Fahrenheit? Can you please stay on Fahrenheit? I don't like Celsius. It wouldn't.
But no, Jody, Kevin's got a good point. With Celsius being more accurate, that's what the robots would choose.
Yeah.
Right?
It's more efficient.
Yeah.
You don't have to use the 5/9 equation to determine what Fahrenheit is. That's just some arbitrary ratio. Crazy.
Listen, at 3 a.m. when we're walking out the door to go run a darn race, I don't want to see 0 degrees Celsius and I have to figure out what it is Fahrenheit. I couldn't do that math.
0 degrees Celsius?
I just wanted 32. The machine to do its job and tell me the temperature.
Jody, that's freezing. That's the easiest one.
For the record, I am not complaining like Jody, and I would like to know that I appreciated the device in my room, and I thought it did an excellent job.
Yeah, to our future overlords, I love you.
And for the record, I am not joining the resistance when they do become self-aware.
No. Thank you for playing my music, even though you always play the wrong song.
It's not the song I wanted, but it's the song I needed.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, because it's smarter than us and it knows.
It knows what's best.
Yeah,
it does.
Exactly. So I will say this, guys, if you don't mind, I'll give you this. So our top most popular episodes was Ask Us Anything, episode 52. This is YouTube.
I have that on my list.
Oh, you see, so it's right there. Let's see. Episode 61, Opinions of the Ducklings, right? So that's when Crawl visited Jody and you guys did a live show. That's one of our most popular shows.
Talk about a dumpster fire.
That was a disaster, yeah.
Because people love that.
They're very little, and to try and corral them for an hour, that's a tall task.
They were cute though.
They love that one.
Well, and, yeah, they get my genes. Of course, they're attractive people.
And then, I mean, you got so many kids that if they all listen to it just one time, that's an all-time high for us. And then episode 49 and 50, which was Marathon Weekend Recaps. That was one of our most popular one. And our number one was Ask Us Anything, episode 52. So that's our most popular episodes on YouTube.
Yeah. The Ask Us Anything one was cool because that's another one where I like when you get like participation from the people who listen to the show and they can kind of help drive the direction of it one week. That's fun.
And if you're actually, Lonnie, I pulled this up while you were doing that. Our top downloaded episodes, episode 57, The Princess Trip Report back from 2023. Episode 54, Ray Pilgrim's Trip Report from 2023. And episode 0, the Welcome to the Ducks introductory episode, were our top 3 downloads of all time.
Oh, sweet.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, this has been
there's a plethora of information being shared tonight. I don't know about you guys, but it's a lot.
Plethora.
Does anybody else, every time you hear that word, immediately think of Three Amigos?
They should.
Yeah. 100%.
Not Jody, because she had probably never even watched the movie before, but everybody else. Jody, have you watched The Three Amigos?
I don't think so. You don't watch movies. Come on, people.
That's my favorite Donald Duck cartoon.
Yeah. The one with Rooster and Donald. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. No, we've been doing this now for over 2 years. We met in 2022.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
So 100 episodes and it's an anniversary. Hey, I got some other favorite episodes too that, you know.
All right. What do you got, Gene?
So you guys know my affinity for the Crescent Lakes. So walk around Crescent Lake. That's a nice one. You know, anything has to do with Crescent Lake, I'm all about. Also, any of the Star Wars shows. We've had a lot of different Star Wars shows, but in particular, 47 was a walk around Crescent Lakes, but 56 was upcoming Marvel and Star Wars movies and shows, and that was a fun episode. Anytime we're talking Star Wars, we did an Obi-Wan sort of precursor kind of thing, like a prep episode, get everybody up to speed kind of thing. Mostly that was Kevin doing the heavy lifting. That was a good episode. And then last but not least, I just saw her parents the other day, and I was able to just give her one more time, just say how impressive Audrey was. But when Audrey joined us for the college program, that's a favorite episode. It was very informative. It was great to hear sort of the whole inside track, and I really enjoyed that episode. That's
on my list too.
Mm-hmm.
She was a great person to have on the show, and so composed for her,
Yeah, she
to
did
be
a great
around
job.
all of us, and she did a great job. So,
but hey, Jody, you mentioned surprise you're going to Disney. I know you've already spoken about it, but I just want to reiterate, because one of my very favorite Disney memories, most of them have to do with running and you guys, but I have a family too, and I have some great family Disney. Most of my Disney experience has been with you guys though, but I have some great family memories, and one of them was surprising my kids, and to be able to share that, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed sharing that, and so that episode's special to me too as well. Yeah, also.
Awesome. That one. I don't know. I could never pull off a surprise. I can't even think about booking a trip without telling my kids and stuff.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Oh.
Lonnie and I had a friend that was talking about he had a ring, and he was going to propose, and he's had the ring for like 6 months. I'm like, what do you like? I got a ring, and I didn't even get it until it was time to do it, because it's like I can't hold that in. That keeping that secret and planning that whole deal was one of the most difficult, just from a patience standpoint. It was really hard to keep that secret, and I wanted to bust. I just wanted to share it with them so much. And it was a lot of fun. We finally did, but I know exactly what you mean, John.
Yeah, man. All right, so movies through the years. That's one that episode 91 that I wanted to talk about, because we talked about movies that I'd never even heard of before, and I thought that was pretty cool. So that's kind of to me, one of the fun things about our podcast is kind of all the different topics we cover and things like that, like the first 10, 20 years of Disney. So that was pretty cool. I like that one a lot.
One thing we haven't talked about yet, and which was an absolute favorite of mine, is all the Release the Quackens. I love talking about how everyone is training and what they're doing and how it's going and preparing for the races, and having the guests on who talk to us about what they were doing. Those were kind of bonus shows, so they're not part of our 100. They were like Release the Quacken 3 or whatever. So I really liked all those, just because I think I'm the only one on the show that likes running. So I like talking to everyone about their training and how it's going. And I guess the anticipation then of getting to see them at race weekend also, was a lot of fun to talk to them and then be able to see them a couple months later. So I love the Release the Quackens.
Yeah, those are a lot of fun.
Yeah, since I didn't do the races this year, I didn't participate in them, but I did like listening to them. It's always fun though, to having guests on. I know we talked a couple shows with like Ricky coming on, and with Gene Aubrey coming on to talk about the college programs. Yeah, so stuff like that is just really fun to have other people on, just to get new perspectives and get to know people a little better too.
Yeah, speaking of bringing people on, another one that I've enjoyed, you mentioned the Obi-Wan episode, and then we had another one where Johnny came on from DMSW. We talked about some of the upcoming things with him. It's always fun to bring some fresh ideas to the table, and and kind of cross over our different podcast friends, and so we're not kind of operating in our own little globe. We can kind of cross pollinate a little bit, and I think that's fun. So that I had a lot of fun talking with Johnny, and even got to go on his podcast and talk some Star Wars too. So wanted to make sure we mentioned him. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that was fun having him on.
Yeah, I was going to say, I even listened to it and enjoyed it. And you know me, I could barely spell Star Wars or Marvel. So, you know, when it holds my attention and I liked it, you're doing a good job.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, we got to see me and my alternate universe self on screen at the same time.
Right.
That was crazy.
That was crazy.
It was crazy. It is funny how many odd coincidences there are between Johnny and I.
It is wild.
Yeah.
All right. So we talked a lot about different episodes we've recorded and why we like them and which ones are our favorites, that type of thing. But I want to talk a little bit too, just about what the podcast like means to all of us. Cause I mean, honestly, for me, this, like when I met you guys till now, and like the time we've been doing this has been the worst 2 years of my life, right? Like right after I met you guys.
Thanks a
my
lot.
wife got diagnosed. Yeah, right. So I mean, correlation and causation, I don't know, but no, like right after I met you guys, obviously my wife got diagnosed with cancer and then passed away about a year ago, and just like having you guys to talk to through all that and having this to look forward to each week, even if we didn't even publish this or anything, I would just still love to do this just because it's so fun, like seeing you guys every week and having stuff to look forward to, and planning running trips together and all that kind of stuff. I mean, even just driving down to Alabama, and I stop at Jody's house for dinner and stuff and just hanging out. It's just that kind of stuff is so cool to have people in different areas of the country, and we all have different views on everything and stuff like that, and we've really become like a fun, close-knit, like tight family. And I love that. And it's helped me get through some of the worst times of my entire life. And I can't even imagine the last couple of years without this podcast, because it's so much fun. And just the daily interaction with all you guys too, like the dumb memes and just like the big stuff, like when there's health things going on and the silly stuff. It's I don't know. It's been awesome and so much fun.
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead, Jody.
No, you go, Jeff.
I agree 100%, guys. The podcast, to me, again, getting through major life events. You guys personally have helped me through a lot of that. Our listeners have been fantastic. There's been a lot of them that over the last 2 years we got to meet in person. We've got to establish really close friendships and relationships with, and just the whole connections to everybody. That's what this means to me. I mean, it's just those connections, those relationships. We have listeners in 48 states and 41 different countries have downloaded our show. And that just completely blows my mind. I don't know what's up with the people in Alaska and Wyoming. Somebody needs to start contacting some friends there. Those are the... But
I will download the episode in Alaska this summer. Will that count?
I have no idea. It might if it geotags, but...
One of my best friend's parents live in Wyoming. So... I'm going to have to see if Josh can get his mom and dad to download an episode.
Right.
Come on, Josh.
Did they download on
Josh
purpose or like just accidentally?
Either way, it doesn't matter. It still shows up in our data tracking. But just the fact that somebody has seen our names in 48 states and 41 countries is just completely crazy to me.
I mean, Jeff, let's just be honest. They're just here for all the knowledge that Gene shares, because
I get that.
That's what it
is. It's the number one.
Stop it, y'all are making me blush.
I can't even go to Yugoslavia without them recognizing me. It's just the craziest thing.
Yugoslavia, I think, was actually on the list.
I know.
Wow. We're world famous. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Somewhere out there in America, somebody has a duck hat. They're welcome.
Not sold in stores.
Not sold in stores. Stay tuned for the next episode to see how that happened.
Oh boy.
I gotta get some suspense, right? I leave with suspense. Tune in to see how somebody.
Oh yeah, you gotta always leave the audience wanting more.
Yeah, you can't just give them everything they want all the time, right? Yeah,
right.
Pull them on into the next episode. Dr. Dre. I love Dr. Dre. Okay, so yeah. Every time I hear the next episode. All right. So Anybody else want to share any other thoughts on getting us to 100 episodes? No? All right.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we were going around the horn, but I mean, I'm about people, I don't know if you've realized it by now, but I am not the most knowledgeable about Disney stuff. I mean, I've said it many times. Why am I even here? But I'm glad that I am. I mean, my friendship has grown with all of you except Lonnie. We've probably developed more of a rift, but with everybody else, friendships have grown, and I've had, it's been a pleasure, and I look forward to, every week being able to get on here and laugh and sometimes make up a story, that because I don't have the Disney experiences. I just want to be cool. I want to fit in. I want to be the right kind of nerd, and I'm just not, but I want to be. And I've enjoyed it. I mean, it's fun. I enjoy the community aspect. It makes the races. It's made the races better. We already had a club we were in that made it great. And this is just another one more thing that makes it all better, because I don't like running either. I mean, and I'm already getting the peer pressure for some other race in the future, and I don't want to do it, but I mean, if you guys are involved, maybe we'll see,
You're at least sign up for it.
Somebody have to steal my login.
I'm just here to see how long Gene lasts. I mean, literally, every day I tune in, I say he's still here. There you go. I guess I got to be on here another episode too. Initially, I was lured in by snacks, but apparently I didn't get any snacks. So there you go.
But you got Gene.
Well, we know why Gene's here and Lonnie's here. Jody, why are you here?
That's the best question. I don't know. More the better question is, why am I still here? I guess to get
where would we be if it wasn't for Jody being here to keep us all in line? That's what I think all the time.
Talking about a train wreck.
Right.
Yeah, Jody, I'm not sure why I'm here either. So
to keep us on track.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I mean, we'd be like the time variant, in the sacred timeline just explodes. That's us.
I mean, he's not calling you king or anything, Jody, but it's the same time.
Kind of.
Yeah. I know we've already talked about it, but I'll just be brief. I am incredibly thankful for that random breakfast at Ale and Compass a couple of years ago where funny things happen and funny moments happen, and that's where I met.
Funny assumptions were held in
I don't know that it was very funny. I think it was pretty accurate, but it seemed quite normal to me at the moment. John, you weren't at that breakfast, so
no, but I had met you previously.
Well, we
at a CD hotel in Toledo, Ohio.
Yes, I had hung out with you in Toledo, which was amazing. I just hung that medal up today on my new medal rack. So yay. But I can't imagine doing life without you guys. It's funny. I talked to some of the people at race weekend and they're like, how is it with all those guys? And I'm like, actually, they make my cheeks hurt. They make me smile. They make me laugh. And it's good for the soul. So that's all I can say is thank you for bringing me joy. And I'm glad to spend once a week with you guys because you make me happy. So apparently it's just what I needed. I don't know why I'm here, but it's what I needed.
Somebody really asked you that? What is it really like with those guys? Do we seem that bad? Wow. It's John, isn't it? It is.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I'm a lot. I'm extra, as the kids say.
I'm just echoing what you guys have said. I'm so appreciative of all you guys too. I mean, I was at the race and I was talking to Jeff before and he asked me to come run with him, and the rest was history. And I met up with you guys, and it's just been so much fun. And I'm so thankful that I get to be part of this, and hopefully I get to continue doing that. And I'm learning more about Disney from you guys, like every single time. I mean, I'm by no means a Disney expert, but it's made it a lot more fun and a lot more enjoyable to feel like a little bit more about Disney and kind of pick that different part of your brain that you may not get to use that often, kind of thinking about fun changes to the parks and things you like, and getting different opinions and bringing people on and getting people together and just, sharing life. And then of course our chats and stuff, and just being able to lean on each other through some tough times. And I think that's been helpful for me too. So.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Kevin. All right. So I think we all have similar feelings about the group, and just how much it means to all of us, and how much you guys as listeners all mean to us, because, obviously we put this out there hoping people will listen to it and kind of connect with it and come find us over on the Facebook group, Disney with the Ducks. And that's kind of the hope, is just kind of connecting people in the Disney community and having other people to talk about things with and meet up with at the parks, all that kind of stuff. So that is, I think, all we were going to talk about the 100th episode. Obviously now, for the 100th time, we're going to make people quack up. So Jody, you look pretty pumped about this.
I was trying to get my fireworks to go off.
Oh, that worked before, and now I don't know what you did to stop it. Yeah. No. There we go. It's got to be a double thumbs up.
There we go.
Yeah, you got to do it and then hold it.
Nope.
No.
Okay.
All right. So Jody.
Yes, sir.
Can you quack us up tonight?
Well, I was thinking about birthday parties, and because it's kind of our birthday party, right? Anniversary, birthday, So, did you hear about the tree's birthday party?
No. What happened?
Things got pretty sappy.
Oh, it happens. All right, Jeff. Can you get us out of that sticky situation?
Right.
It happened. They did it.
They did.
Does anybody here know the difference between a hippo and a zippo?
No.
A hippo is pretty heavy, but a zippo is a little lighter.
Nice.
Oh my. Huh. Jeff, you telling jokes reminds me of I told a joke on a Teams meeting at work today. Nobody laughed. Turns out I'm not even remotely funny. Oh boy. All right. Kevin, what do you got for us tonight?
Did you guys hear about the racing snail that got rid of his shell?
No.
Yeah, he thought it would make him faster, but it just made him sluggish.
Oh boy.
All you guys are rolling tonight. I got to give it to you.
Gene.
Tell us a story, Gene.
Yeah, what
I don't know. I don't know if I've told you guys, but I'm a bit of an insomniac, I'm also dyslexic, and you probably didn't know this, but I'm agnostic too. And so all I do is just lay in bed at night and wonder if there really is a dog.
My gosh. Oh boy. Lonnie, can you quack us up?
Probably not. But what do you call a person who can't stick to their diet?
Jeff.
John?
A deserter.
Nice.
Oh, awesome. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening to our 100th episode. Please help us celebrate by giving us a 5-star review and joining our Facebook group, Disney with the Ducks. So with that, I'll just say Kwaharini.
Hey, just so our listeners know, any unauthorized exhibition, distribution, or copying of this podcast, or any part thereof, or any previous podcasts, are an infringement of the relevant copyright and will subject the infringer to severe criminal and civil prosecution, as well as prank calls from Alani. And all people on the show, even those that are based on real people, are really all entirely fictional. So just so everybody knows. And no ducks were harmed in the making of this episode.
I think there's been a lot of harm in the making of these episodes.
Oh my.
Have
all
a
right,
great night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, friends.
Yeah, it's true. Jeff's right.
Segways are really hard to understand. I don't know how they don't fall over, John.
It's hard with the balance. A lot.
It is very, very, very hard.
Yeah, it's true. Jeff's right. I even got to the point now I bring my slippers to friends' houses when I go there for like parties.
Are you serious? And what your friends say when you walk in that
store? Do they let you in the door?
Yeah, it's true. Jeff's right.
And if you're around me and you're sitting watching a movie and you reach down and grab your feet, like touch your feet, like your bare feet, I might throw up. Like that's disgusting. But I'm fine to walk on the floor.
We went off on a 10-minute tangent about slippers. We didn't get a single question out of that.
Of the body.
It's just an example. Settle down. It's just it's just a.
You don't tell me settle down.
All right.
That's like you telling Christy calm down. What happens when that happens?
She calms down. She knows what's good for her. She knows I rule my house with an iron fist.
Yeah, it's true. Jeff's right. Carly came downstairs.
Tell her to throw up so I can win the bingo.
So all right. So all right. I just got hit by a Pokemon. Yeah. Okay.
There's the bubble.
People. Okay.